And welcome to NFP Kitchen. I am Janice, and as you can see today, here I am by myself because we are in unprecedented and tumultuous times, and I don't know when Melinda and I are going to get back to making videos, but we would really like to. So now I'm going to share my favorite vegan recipe for cornbread. So we eat cornbread in my family a lot, pretty much all year round, and this would be a great thing to take to a potluck next year, maybe next summer when it's safe. And this way you know, of course, number one, that it's completely vegan, but also there's only 7 ingredients. It's super easy, and it's great for forgetful people like myself because we are not going to preheat the oven right away because that helps it turn out better in this case. But we like our cornbread less sweet, so if you like yours sweeter, then you can of course add more sugar. Also, this particular recipe is actually a little bit fluffier than the cornbread that I grew up with, and I was completely fine with that. It's a little bit more cake-like, and it kind of reminds me of a scene from Thumbelina when Field Mouse comes to her and says, "You need to make your corn cakes for Mr. Mole so he'll marry you." That's what it reminds me of. So if you want to call this a corn cake instead of a cornbread, it's not exactly a cake, it's still a cornbread, but it's a little bit fluffier, which I really like. So we're gonna start with a cup of your favorite cornmeal. It doesn't matter what kind you like. We just use, because it's easier to find around here, the Bob's Red Mill medium grind cornmeal. And I really like it. I think it makes a nice rustic cornbread. We are going to add 1/4 cup of sugar, and again, this is not as much as most people probably add. You could add up to 2/3 cups of sugar in this recipe and it comes out really sweet, but we find that 1/4 cup of sugar is still sweet enough. Okay, and then we have 1 cup and 1/4 of flour, and then a tablespoon of baking powder. And you can put in a teaspoon of salt, but I never do. So maybe I'll put in 1/4 teaspoon, just because I like things less salty, but if you like more salt, then you can add more salt. Our dry ingredients are together, and we just want to mix those until they are completely incorporated. Okay. So we mix it all together. So it looks like this. All incorporated. Yay. And then we just have 2 wet ingredients to add. We're going to add 1 1/4 cups of almond milk. The same as the flour. And 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. So now this is sort of like biscuits. You want to mix everything together, but only mix as much as you absolutely have to, and no more than that. And actually, when we're going to be done mixing, it's gonna look slightly undermixed. There might still be a few clumps of dry ingredients. Not terribly big. You don't want a lot of separation, but if there's still just a few, it's a little clumpy, then that's okay, because it's better. Because with cornbread, you don't want to overmix. Okay, so it's gonna be, I'm not sure if you can see, looking like that. We just take our greased 8x8 and pour the mixture in. Okay, great. And now is when we go, oh my gosh, I forgot to preheat the oven. And we preheat the oven to 400 degrees and wait for the oven to heat up and let this just sit and incorporate without disturbing it. And for some reason it helps it turn out better. I don't completely understand why, but once the oven is heated up, we'll stick it in the oven for half an hour, and then I'll take it out again and show you what it looks like. Okay, so the oven has preheated, and we're just gonna put it in the oven. Okay. For 30 minutes. This is what our lovely, beautiful cornbread looks like straight out of the oven. We'll let it cool down and then cut in. Okay, so the cornbread has had a chance to cool off, and this is what it looks like. So pretty. And I just wanted to cut into it so you guys could see what it looks like. This is what it looks like, nice and fluffy. Yep. Turned out pretty good. So that's basically how I like to make cornbread. But anyway, let me know what you thought of this in the comments below. We'd like to hear from you, and yep. And we'll see you next time. Bye. And go, oh, I forgot to preheat the oven. Okay. Sorry, I'm nervous now. I'm so nervous.